Okay, our last lecture for this unit is about regulation of the cell cycle. So the frequency of cell division varies with each type of cell. For example, our skin cells divide frequently throughout our lives, and liver cells maintain the ability to divide, but only do so on rare occasion. Let's say to repair a wound. Actually, your liver is one of the few organs that if you are injured or you end up missing a piece or donating a piece, it can actually regenerate, which is very rare for our internal organs as humans. The most specialized cells, such as muscle cells and nerve cells, do not divide at all. And that's why things like a stroke that damages nerve cells in the brain, or diabetes, which can cause nerve damage in the foot, stuff like that can be have serious after effects, because those are not things that are going to be able to heal. So controls on cell division. When cells come into contact with other cells, they respond by not growing. So if they are all tightly knit together, like they are in your skin, okay, then they're happy, and they're not getting the signal to divide, okay, because it's working all nicely together. As a tissue, it's happy as can be. When an injury, like a cut in the skin, occurs, the cells at the edge of the injury begin to divide rapidly, okay? So when the healing process nears completion, the rate of cell division slows back down, and once it's completely healed, then cell division goes back to being on a much slower rate. So there are some cell cycle regulators that we're going to talk about. There are many proteins found on the inside and outside of the cell that regulate cell division. Remember how we talked about those proteins, carbohydrates, everything on the cell membrane? Well, this is where they come into play. Some of these proteins are responsible for starting and stopping cell division. Other proteins seem to speed up or slow down the division process. And last but not least, these proteins send out signals that prevent excessive cell growth, right? It would not be good if all of a sudden one part of your skin started growing and growing and growing until it was like a big mole or something gross like that. This keeps the tissues of the body from disrupting one another, okay? So what happens when we see uncontrolled cell growth? If the cells in a tissue grow uncontrollably, the consequences can be very severe. For example, cancer cells do not respond to the signals that regulate the growth of cells. Cancer cells divide uncontrollably and form masses of cells called tumors. These tumors can damage the surrounding healthy tissues by stealing nutrients or water or whatever. The tumor will keep growing and take away from all the healthy tissues that your body needs to function. All cancers have one thing in common. The protein regulators that control the cell cycle have failed to do their job. That is very important to know, okay? The protein regulators that control the cell cycle have failed to do their job, so the cell cycle is just going on and on and on and on and on constantly, even when there's no need to be replacing those cells. So, the whole purpose of mitosis, well, actually, before I start into this,